Okay, and now the recording is in progress, so I have to tap this button here. There, good. Now I can see everybody. And yeah, so we're going to tap the sternum, tap up and down, tap down to the rib cage. And these are yin meridians. This is quite a few of the yin meridians in the body come up the front. So we tap down the sternum, we're just kind of waking those up. And we're going to tap right at the solar plexus. I'm going to give a little extra attention there. We'll come up and we'll tap under the collarbone. And we'll tap using beak hands, put the four fingers in contact with the thumb, and we'll tap along the sternum. There's the kidney 27 point there. And that's a very interesting point that has many uses. And we're tapping for just to kind of clear the head and for the immune system. And we get all the other benefits as well. Now we're going to bring the elbows up and forward, and we're going to open up the shoulders nest and press with the thumbs. If your thumbs are in good shape, you can press in there. And this is good for the sinuses. Okay. Work on that a little bit. Now we're going to do, when we do this combing, we make the hands like tiger claws and we comb with our fingertips right down the center of the head. And we want to go all the way back to the back of the head. And then we'll come along the crest of the head, same thing, all the way to the back. And just from the temples, just above the ears, go to the back of the head, and we'll do that again. And this is where the yang meridians meet, on top of the head. So we go from yin to yang. And that's a good way to start our tapping. So now we're going to tap lightly on the head. You can tap with the palms. Sometimes I find that very helpful. Other times I use the fingertips or the pads of the fingers. All different ways of tapping. Then we're going to wash the face. Okay, now we'll tap from the front of the head, right to the back, down the neck, and we'll do the shoulders. And then we'll tap across and give ourselves a pat on the back, tap down the arm, turn the arm over, and now we'll tap down the side, and we'll tap the other shoulder, and tap down the arm, up the arm, the inside, and we'll go down the side. And we'll tap right down the front, tap the ribs, and then we'll do the belly. Okay, now I'm going to stand up. You can also do tapping the hips, that we can massage the kidneys seated just as well. Then we're going to work on the kidneys a little bit, and we're going to rub up and down. We're going to rub vertically. You can reach back there. You reach vertically and rub that and work on that. There are meridians there that also stimulate the immune system. Okay, now I'm going to tap the hips. Tap down the legs as far as you're comfortable. Up the inside of the legs. And we'll do the kidneys again. Maybe this will help. Okay, now we'll do the hips again. Legs, Give the knees a few extra pats. And we'll come around and do the kidney area one more time. Okay, now do the hips. Good. Now, good. Now we'll just kind of loosen up the arms and we're going to roll the shoulders. I want to work on moving the shoulder blades. If you can have the shoulder blades move the arms, if you can think of your arm, but you're really not moving your arms like this, but you're moving the shoulders and the arms are following. That looks good. Okay, now we'll go in the other direction. We'll bring the shoulders, bring the shoulders forward, let the arms. Now that one I find I have to move my arms more. Just one of those things, I guess. But I'm working on it. I'm loosening that up. I want to feel a light stretch between my shoulder blades. Get that loosened up. Now we're going to do the April K. The April K is a great exercise. It's designed to open up all the major acupuncture meridians in the body. So we're going to start by lifting the hands and supporting the heavens with both hands. So we're going to come up. Now I like to bend my knees a little bit. I just bend down a little bit, come up. Keep the spine straight. Up. Do one more. Now the next one, we're going to step out a little wider stance, and we're going to draw the bow. So we're going to draw the bow to one side, and here you want to open up the ribs. You want to open up the sternum, open up the chest, and we're going to draw the bow to one side. Let your eyes watch the hand that's extending. So you're looking at the middle fingers, even though you can't see them all that well. That's where you put your eyes. Do that one more time. We'll step back in, and we'll have the feet about hip width, shoulder width. Now we're going to press towards heaven and earth. So we're lightly pressing down and doing a nice light stretch coming up. Good. That looks good. Good. Do one more. Now, I'm going to have the hands, I have the, you put your left hand in front of the right, you turn 70%, let the hands drop down and away from the body, look over the shoulder, come back to the center. Now you're right over left, turn, look over the shoulder, come back. Do that again. And we'll do one more. Now we're just going to let things settle down, press down. Step out into the horse stance again. And we're kind of tuck the tailbone under. When it's a little bit of a pelvic tilt, you don't have to go way down. This looks like I'm way down, this camera angle. I'm not. I'm just unlocking my knees. I just have my, just to where I can feel the thigh muscles engage. That's really about it. What we're working on here is a light stretch on the up the side of the body. So we're stretching the torso from side to side, and you want to just let your head go. The idea is to not have any tension in the head. You want to just feel like the fluid in the body is sloshing along from side to side. So you just want to let your head be very relaxed. We're not pushing anything. It's again, it's a light stretch. And if you get that light stretch, you're just kind of waking up those meridians, and you're getting the benefits of that. Okay, now the next thing we do is we're going to fold here. If you have your hands on the hips, thumbs in the inguinal fold where the thigh meets the torso, if you collapse this way, okay, so I'm not coming forward like this. See, if I'm like this, I'm not coming forward like this. I'm folding. Okay, so it's kind of a Z shape. It's kind of a zigzag shape. So that fold is very helpful. It's called the Qi fold. So you want to make sure you're folding at the Qi. You're in a wider stance, and then you look at the floor between your heels. And as you do that, what happens is if you can relax, once you've learned to move and you actually can relax, you'll find that when you look between the legs, this part of the back, the lower lumbar region, just kind of can relax, and you get a very gentle stretch. And that gentle stretch is very valuable. Okay, so now we're ready to begin. We're in the horse stance. Got the tailbone pointed to the floor. We're going to shift the weight from side to side, come back to the center. Let yourself feel that center movement just for a split second there. There's a little delay in the camera here that's very helpful. That feeling of centering is very good. Okay. Now we're going to stop here in the center. We're going to fold at the Qi. Look at the floor between the heels. Then we're going to push up and raise the chin. Do that again. Bending to the side. Other side. Folding at the Qi. Look at the floor. Come back up. Raise the chin. Do that one more time. Okay, now we'll do ear to shoulder. We're just doing light stretches on the neck. And now we're going to tuck the chin, raise the back of the head, and raise the chin. That again. This move, you really can't see what I'm doing when I raise the back of the head. Okay, so we're going to come out of the horse stance so you're not in it for too long. And what you can do to get that feeling, what you want to have, the feeling that you want to have is if you put two of your fingers on the forehead and you put your palm across the back of the head, you'll find that that's kind of relaxing. It takes the pressure. Your head feels lighter as you do that. That's the feeling that you want when you tuck the chin. So you're kind of relaxing the jaw, bringing the chin in a little bit, and raising the back of the head. And it's a very small move. I don't think it's an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. It's just that very light move. But the reason I go over this is because there are many times when we're doing this exercise, you can lift the back of your head. You can look for times to do it. Oh, look, I can lift the back of my head here. You're doing number one. There's a time. It's like you're riding a wave of energy, and you can just let your head come up. As your hands are coming up, there's a time you'll find you go, oh, there it goes. Then you just settle back down, come back up. You get that nice lift. That completes an energy circuit called the microcosmic orbit. And again, you don't need to know these things. It's just nice. Some people are interested in that. They like to know. But if you do the motions, it will carry you right along, and all these things will happen anyway. So you don't need to know about it. You just enjoy the movement. Okay, so that was the number 5. Number 6, we're going to put the hands by the hips, and we're going to slide the hands down along the legs, go down just as far as you're comfortable. Hands go around the toes, up the inside of the legs, around the belt. Now we're going to lightly arch the back. Get a nice light stretch up the front of the spine. Now we're going to do that again. Just reaching down, we're not pushing it, coming back up, around the back. Do one more. Nice light stretch. Very good. Now we're going to go into the horse stance again. Tuck the tailbone under. We're going to make 2 loose fists. We're going to turn to one side, and it's a spiral punch twice. So we're spiraling the hands as we punch. We come to the center, spiral again. Other side. One more. Last one. And the last one, we just come up on the toes and we drop down on the heels just lightly, just kind of let things go. And that's good for the lymphatic system, good for the immune system. This is called raising the heels to ward off all illness. And there are many variations in this exercise. It's been around for a long time. A lot of different ways of doing it. One more. Now we're just going to kind of bounce in place. We're going to use our body weight and gravity to strengthen the legs. Springtime is a time of year everything in nature is waking up. The life is coming back in the trees and the birds and the grass and the flowers and everything. And we start to feel that. We react to it and we want to do things. So we want to strengthen ourselves before we do that. And we want to work on our balance a little bit. So we're doing this. It's an amazing, great exercise. You're not have to do with equipment. It's very hard to overdo it doing this exercise. And the balance part is very valuable. You put the hands behind the back. When you do that, you have to make little adjustments. You're not even aware of them, but you're doing adjustments to keep your balance. Then you bring the hands out to the sides, and you can kind of loosen things up a bit. And we'll put the hands in front, do the same thing. Kind of throw your hands, whatever feels good. Now we're going to go up overhead. Okay, now we'll go back again. And this is an exercise if you ever want to loosen up or just kind of tone the body, exercise the legs. This is a great thing to do outside of class. Very simple. And I found when I started doing this at home, I would do it outside of class. We'd do it about this long, and then we'd say, okay, that's enough. Well, I went ahead and I did it, and when I got up to 5 or 6 minutes of doing that, I'd have my phone timer. My legs felt great. I mean, it was way better than just walking the dog. It was very, very helpful. Okay. Now we're going to go into the bow stance. And in the bow stance, you've got one foot forward and the other foot back, and you can just kind of get the idea that there's about a hand's width of space between my heels. I think the camera angle, it's kind of hard to see. Take my word for it, that there's about a hand's width there. I'm going to put the hands by the hips, palms up. We're going to shift the weight forward, bring the hands up. And we're going to do this nice oval, kind of a circular move, coming back, come up. Do that one more time. Now this time, when the hands come up, we're going to straighten the arms. So they're pointing straight ahead. And then we're going to bring the elbows straight back. Then we're going to go down and come up again. Straighten the arms. Pull the shoulders back. Do that one more time. Straighten the arms. Good. Now we'll shift over. Put the other foot forward. Same thing. We'll start with the round movement, circular movement. Now we'll bring the hands up, straighten the arms. Yep, turn the palms, straighten the arms. Now pull the shoulder, the elbows straight back. Come down again, bring the hands up, straighten the arms, bring the elbows back, hands back to the hips, come up. Very good. Now we're ready for some 5-element Qi Gong. This you can do seated. If you're seated, we went over this before, it helps to sit towards the front of the chair, hands on the knees. You don't have to put the hands on the knees. You can have your hands folded in the more traditional style like this, with the thumbs touching. But in the Qigong, it's very interesting. Some of the chairs aren't set up that well. It's not like we're sitting on a mat with a cushion the way they do it traditionally, like in the Zen center. But with the hands forward, it makes it a little easier to relax the shoulders and bring the round and the shoulders and sink the chest a little bit, open up the upper back. We're going to sit for just a minute, and we're going to let the breathing sink down into the belly. Now, that's something you don't want to push. We're doing a lot of Taoist water method, where the energy is just naturally moving down through the body anyway, and pushing is just not a good idea. Don't push it. You want to relax the belly and let your belly breathe. It's like you're inflating a balloon and letting the balloon shrink and expand. And you just want to be aware of that, again, without forcing the diaphragm down. Just let your breath sink down into the belly. Let your mind follow the breathing down into the belly, and just relax. And you want to check your alignments. If you imagine that you find a point just between at the center of your ears, and if that point goes right up to the top of your head, and there's a string there, it's just lightly tugging, just pulling up your head. And again, if you tuck the chin a little bit, do that thing where you raise the back of your head, you have that feeling of lightness. You have the tongue lightly touching the roof of the mouth, just behind the teeth. Breathe naturally, smoothly. Now I'm going to stand up. You don't have to stand up for this next exercise. You can do it seated just as well. While you're seated, you want to make sure that the midriff is open. So you don't want to fold down here. If you just have that feeling that there's space between the bottom of your ribs and your hips, you want that open. Okay. I'm going to stand, and I'm going to have the hands. I'm going to turn the palms back and have my feet. Boy, you really can't tell. My feet are roughly parallel, but the camera makes them look like they're going like this. That's okay. Do whatever's comfortable for you. Just settle into that pose for a moment. Now we're going to bring the hands up with the fingers pointing toward the ceiling. Then we're going to bring the hands down so that the palm centers are just below the belt. This is the first element, earth element, corresponds with the stomach meridian and spleen meridian. We're going to bring the hands up. And we want to be very aware of the palm centers facing each other. I'm going to soften the hands. I'm going to open and close. This is the metal element, and it corresponds with the lung meridians. Hands come down. We'll bring the hands up again. Now we want to work with the elbows, opening up the chest, opening up the sternum. And we'll bring the hands up again. Back, palms just below the belt. Nice oval shape to the arms here. You want the hands well away from the body. You don't want your hands in real close. Can't really tell. Yeah. Hands away from the body. That's a good view there, actually. Okay. The next element is the water element. Corresponds with the kidneys. Now here, we sink down, and we're doing that same fold. We're not leaning forward. We're kind of collapsing here and just letting things in the core just sink down. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Bring the hands up, back to earth. Camera angle is a funny business. But, we're doing okay. Now we're going to do the wood element of the liver meridian. So to turn the palms, we're going to do a nice oval movement, bringing the hands up about as high as the collarbones, not way up here. Nice. Like this. And this is the element that corresponds to the season that we're in now. Springtime season. Things are growing, expanding. Life is coming back. So we're working with that energy, bringing the hands up. And I find that I have to, when I'm doing this on my own at home, I have to wake up my liver. I'll do this 4 or 5 times. But we'll do 3 sets today. Hands up. And we'll bring the hands up again. Back to earth. I'm going to move the hands over to the side channel. So we're right here on the side channel, palms facing each other. And it's like we're going to be inflating a balloon and then shrinking it back down. Opening up, and closing. One more. Shift over, open, and close. And we'll bring the hands up, back to earth. Now we'll return to the beginning position. We're almost done. Feel any tension in the body, this is a good time to be aware of that. Just kind of let it go. Breath sink down into the belly. Let your mind follow the breathing. Now, I'm going to sit down again. We're going to do the hand exercises. This is also called Qi Gong massage with 10 fingers. That's kind of an interesting translation there, but it gets the point across. And what we're going to do take the bird's mouth. Now the bird's mouth is this point here. It's like called the bird's mouth. Some people call it the tiger's mouth. But we're going to take those points and we're just going to lightly tap them together. We're going to do that. They recommend somewhere between 80 and 200 times. We're going to go for about 80 to 100, something like that. But just lightly tapping those points together. This wakes up a lot of the energy meridians in the body that run through the hands, and somehow it also works on the feet. Very good for that. Now we're going to turn the hands. Now we're going to tap the sides along the little finger. But now we're going to take the bird's mouth and we're going to put it together like this. Do that. Now, this is an interesting one. In this one, it looks like we're just tapping the wrists together, but there's a whole collection of meridians that run right up and down the forearm, along the side of the hand here, and in the center. So we're tapping the wrists, and we're also, this camera angle is just something else. This looks like I'm tapping my nose, but no, my hands are out in front of me, and just lightly tapping the wrists together. There are a lot of heart meridians in here. There's also Shen Men points here for calming the spirit. And there's P6, pericardium 6. These have a variety of effects. One is they're very good for the heart, also good for nausea. So this is a good one, good set of exercises. Okay. Good. Now we're going to make a loose fist, and we're just going to tap that fist into the palm. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Good. I'm going to tap the backs of the hands. Well, let's loosen up a little bit here. Just kind of shake the arms out a little bit. We're going to tap the backs of the hands together now. And we're going to do the base of the fingers. We're going to take the hands together, just like that. We're kind of jamming the fingers together. I forgot this one. This is out of sequence, but I think it's better to do it than to not do it. Okay, now we're going to rub the palms together. We're going to warm up the palms, get the energy moving in the hands. Okay, rub them together. You can rub them quite vigorously. Okay, take the palms, put the palms to the eyes. The monk who does this is a wonderful fellow, Brother Tick. And he says, now we're going to give some love to our eyes. I love that. I take the two middle fingers now, press against the forehead. Same thing that we did in the beginning. Head, the palm on the back of the skull. Just let that tension lift off the head. Feel the head being lightly lifted up. Now we'll rub the palms together again. Palms to the eyes. Now we're going to take the two middle fingers, slide up along the ridge of the nose, the bridge of the nose, and push up. Just lightly press the eye socket, the upper part of the eye socket. Rub the palms one more time. Palms to the eyes. We're going to wash the face. We're just going to bring the hands along the temples, fingers to the back of the head, down the neck. Do that again. Face, down the back of the neck. Do that one more time. Good. Now we're going to take the thumb and the forefinger, and we're going to gently tug on the earlobes. We're going to massage the rim of the ear, and we're going to pull right down. Just a nice gentle pulling down. Good. Good. Okay. Now I think we'll do some warm-ups for Dragon Tiger. I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to have the palms. I'm going to bring the I'm just going to move the palms back and forth, shifting the weight to the toes, sinking back into the heels. So there's a little sinking going on here and a little rising as you come up on the toe to the toes, sinking back. Okay. Now you want to, actually, my teacher was talking to us about this when we were seated, but you can start to become aware of a connection between the palms and the feet, the hands and the feet, palms and the arches. So when the hands are coming forward, the palms are helping lift as the weight comes up, and when you turn the palms and you're pressing down, the palm centers are helping the weight shift back into the heels. So it's almost like there's strings, like puppet strings, between the palms and the feet. Good. Now we're going to do Dragon Tiger 1. This is Dragon meets Tiger, and you know the hand motions with this. We're moving energy up and down the side channels. We're going to work on the feet a little bit today. This time you're learning this exercise, and of course when you're doing one foot, we tend to move from side to side. When you're learning, that's fine. After you've learned that for a while, you want to start working on bringing that knee forward so that when the hand comes up, you want the knee to come forward. Okay, and then you press down, heels pressing into the floor, knee comes forward, hand comes up on the other side, and press down. And what you're doing, it's kind of like priming a pump. There's the people like this movement, this nice light movement coming up, floating up. It's a good feeling, and it stimulates a point on the bottom of the foot. There's a point called the bubbling well, and it's right here, right at the ball of the foot, and it's kind of in the center of the foot, just behind the toes. So when that foot comes up, you're stimulating the bubbling well, but what people don't realize is that it's the sinking into the heel. It's the yin move, part of the move, that sets the motion for that energy to come up. So first the energy sinks, then it floats up. So you sink into the heel, prime that pump, and then get the other one going. Now you'll notice I am shifting from side to side a little bit, but sinking into the heel, bring that knee forward. Okay, and then you'll see that it's much more direct. It's like you're walking. Think of a tiger walking through the jungle. He's not walking like this. Okay, so you learn it, and if you're rocking from side to side, that's fine. I'm rocking a little bit from side to side, but you bring the knee forward. That will help you. That's like one of the key moves that will help. So we're just kind of working on the leg movement here. Bring that knee forward, prime the pump, get that energy sinking into the heel, and then floating right up out of the bubbling well, helping the kidneys. Kidneys in traditional Chinese medicine are the adrenal system as well. So it's very energizing and helps tone the kidneys, puts a little more energy in our life, a little more zip. Very, very good exercise to do. The other thing, now when we do the hand motions here, we're balancing the qi between the upper and lower half of the body. So a lot of energy moving in the legs, very important. Now we're going to balance that. We're going to pull up a handful of air here, bring the knee forward, press down, sink into the heel, bring the other knee forward, press down, float up. Now, Watch the hands. Hands, the lower hand still has some life in it. It's still moving. Okay, so you bring that hand down. Yeah, hand, with the hand, might be to both hands. So the hands go like this, and then they pull up, press down, and they do this nice little release. There's a the energy is going right down. The fingertips are helping move the energy down the legs, and then you're pulling it back up, pressing down lightly, release. There's that release. Yep. Back up. Now we'll do one hand up, press down. Here the hand moves off to the side, comes back up. Same thing with the other hand, pulling up, pressing down, nice release. Now we'll do both hands. Good. Now you may find that it's easier to keep one hand moving, and it takes time. This is a bilateral exercise, and one hand they say, "Oh, it's just no problem." The other hand's like, "What do I do?" But very good for the brain to become aware of these things. Okay. Just got a couple minutes left now, so we're going to go from here. We're going to go right to the last one, where we bring the hands up the side channels, back down, around the belt channel, connect to the spine, pull, come up, and drop. Check the time. Okay, here we go. And we'll do one more. And we're ready to close. Very good. Okay, we're done. Thank you for being with us here today. It was very